something like the Ona. You still end up in melee range with a Galio, which is not exactly great, but it's the Anivia.
Faker Anivia as the 5th pick of the draft here for T1.
That sounds painful for Galio. What is Galio gonna
We
do?
can see Tarzan coming down for the Wukong level 3 gank potential here in the bottom lane. Keria goes in with the dredge line. A lot of damage onto Kyle. He flashes away. Goyushi flashes after. One more spinning axe is gonna do it, but no! Hope denies it. Trying to time this so Owner can be in position right as the wave is ready to crash. They don't want to allow Flandra to try to clear this out. Canamini going to absorb it here with a start. Wind becomes lightning. Flandra with a flash away. Doran going to burn him down, but he needs a little bit more damage with the flame spitter. The turret was so...
6. Eyeing up Faker on the Anivia in this mid-wave.
He's looking for that public execution, and he finds it. Faker gets jumped on. Flandra going in, trying to proc the rebirth, and they get it. They've scrambled the egg, and there's the feat of warfare for anyone.
That cull very early on, so keeping the Sivir in mid and just farming and being content to just trade objectives. All right, my Sivir's just gonna mow down the minions in mid wave and then rotate over the dragon. You know, we don't want this early confrontation since you've got Xin and Nautilus Draven, and so they will go for the dragon and they will continue to farm.
Exactly. Remember in game number 1, it was AL securing all 3 grubs, and then T1 securing that first Drake about a minute later. This time around, we swap them around. It's T1 going for the 3 grubs, and AL, and you just saw it right there. Hope's boomerang blade, his ricochet, bouncing through the wave to stop Gumayushi's back as Doran goes in for a ton of damage here with a Flandra. The public execution plus the flash to try to get away. Flash Electro Harpoon coming out from Doran, but no! It's Flandra with reinforcement from Shanks for the shield, for the outplay to stop Doran in his tracks.
Wait a sec!
Makes it a 1-for-1. Gumayushi from all the way across the map strikes true, and T1 starts the Drake.
It looks so good for AL, but Guma finds the cash in with the ult from the opposite side of the map, and now AL, they need to be careful.
Yeah, AL's got to be careful here. Kyle gonna have a nice keeper's verdict to make the fight unfair. Carry is your first target. His owner wants to go in after Kyle now. Loses half his HP. Boomerang blade takes Carrier down to 150. Faker making his way forward, but T1's not gonna find anybody. They also
Doran's
using
in behind.
the teleport now. Doran coming up behind him. The Rumble's already arrived into the fight as Tarzan tries to find some damage onto Faker. Shanks looking to cut him off. The egg, again the rebirth is triggered as Flandra's made his way into the fight and Gumayushi goes back over the wall. Tarzan kills Faker and T1 is on the run. Carrier dredge lines back to safety as Shanks dives in beside Kyle. A double kill for Tarzan and the Draven is dead again. Anyone's legend comes to life in Shanghai and they're at a 2,000 gold lead.
But they will need to bring him in if they want to try and make a play in T1. Trying to scope out the area as that goes.
Yeah, Carrier jumps in here with the dredge line, finds Tarzan, but to no avail. Kyle jumps in with the point-blank keeper's verdict. Shanks has arrived. They're looking at Gumayushi and they find the taunt. Guma's already down. T1 are routed as they try to escape from the pit.
Even with Owner's ultimate knocking him back for a second, he still moves in, finds the taunt, and they kill the Draven again. Very careful about their positioning. Faker himself a little worried about his positioning.
Yeah, he's getting caught out here by Flandra. Public execution, though, not lined up
TPs are
correctly.
coming.
Now Flandra has to flash away. T1 committing to look to find the kill onto the Mbessa. Owner goes after it, needs the 3rd talent strike, and Doran's damage is enough, but off to the side at the same time. Hope is going in. It's another kill traded back as Gumayushi dies once more. Anyone's legend, they want a second, and they'll find it. A double kill to Hope as T1 reinforcements are coming in, but they're a little too slow. Rift Herald summoned up here in the mid lane. Tarzan, Kyle, and Hope gonna knock down the tier 1 turret, and now they're gonna drive it straight into the tier 2. Tarzan at the wheel. He'll slam that one right on in. Equalizer from Doran needs to be used just to clear the wave as Hope knocks down the minion spawning for T1. Faker's gonna take the turret up there in the top lane, and it's AL with more men on the Rift looking at Drake number 3.
Yeah, Hope's got an infinity edge and he wants to use it. He flashes over to follow Guma. He knows he wins.
Legend, but nobody's here just yet. Otacon already down to 5,000 HP. Tarzan goes in for the Cyclone. Shanks ready to arrive with a grand entrance. Tarzan's low, and the Whirling Death's gonna find the execution. T1 still fighting back as the Otacon is slain by Owner, but he dies in the middle of the fight. Public execution finds no target. Gumayushi
definitely rather have the Otacon and the extra experience and stats that you get from that. Afterwards, though, AL will make you pay for it even more. They get the top tower and secondary tower on bottom side. That is a lot of gold.
I was going to say, I think that's third item for Hope now.
The 3,000 individual gold lead for Hope as the 80 carry here with a Sivir. They're moving into the enemy jungle now, and Kael again just slams Owner into the wall, but now he's in danger. Tarzan and Kael both so low, it's 2 dead on the AL side, but Hope is still alive. Faker flashes back over the wall, but Shanks is burning. Flandra caught in the middle of everyone. Anyone's Legend have overplayed their hand, and T1 is ready to punish. Hope should be next to die, and Guma cashes in. Only Shanks still stands. That could have been the entire game. A dredge line from Keria, and Owner is ready to follow up. The win becomes lightning, and strikes Shanks down. Ace for nothing, for 1 for nothing, T1.
You cannot make mistakes against T1 in playoffs. This is a team.
They have the control ward inside the pit. They're going to step back, group up as a clump, as 5 towards the bottom side of the river. AL looking for the approach. Tarzan wants to flank, and he flashes over the wall. Now Faker's going to try to get away. Hero's entrance knocks up 3. T1 trying to scramble. The damage comes down, and Flandra flashes back over the wall as Owner's first to die. T1 on the run. Kael wants a wall slam, but he can't quite find it. Hope goes in for Goma, and he cuts him down.
To try and bring the game back in their favor. That fight, that flash from Tarzan, the TPs though.
Faker jumping into a spot that he should not be. He doesn't get slammed to the wall, but he's far back enough that he cannot stay alive. Hope runs after Doran. The auto attacks cutting through the rumble. A little bit more is needed, and a little bit more will be found. Keria presents himself on a silver platter, and it's AL eating good.
T1 were worried about the Baron, but they should have been worried about their lives. Teleporting in, AL will take from them.
Baron power play, want to get as much of a lead with it as they can. This is the 6th turret that they will take this game, which means the only targets left are inside the wave away, but the cannon minion is still alive. The tier 3 turret's below half HP. Everybody on AL is feeling confident, and without the equalizer, that's a big team fight tool that T1 no longer has.
Both lanes being pressured by AL. Gumayushi has to step forward to clear out these cannon minions because it's the only way you have a chance, but it opens up for AL to look for plays. Kael fishing for the Poppy ult, doesn't go for it.
Yeah, it's so hard to push on Anivia always. That's why this Baron buff is so important for AL in their attempts to siege. The Baron buff allowing so much of this extra damage to come through, empowering those cannon minions, empowering both lanes.
All right, top lane about to be the next target. Flandra wants to crash the wave. Still 1/3 of the cooldown left on the equalizer. Tarzan takes a little bit of damage here, but again, it's nothing super serious. Shanks leads the charge. Tier 3 turret drops to a colossal smash from Shanks as AL has found their way into the enemy base. T1 scrambling, regrouping between the top and mid lanes, as they do want to continue trying to defend the turret. AL's gonna take their time though. Now they focus on the top lane, tier 3. Flandra's already got the wave. Hope steps up. Second tier 3 turret eliminated as T1 continue to retreat. Anyone's Legend still playing it nice and slow. Inhibitor under siege top side first. Hope plus the cannon minion, more than enough to take that one down. Mid lane's already down. Those 2 inhibitors within 10. Fight for this. It's not Soul, it's not worth it. AL with a 6,500 gold lead now find themselves also has the wave clear of an entire team as Anivia. He can take care of those super minions. Everybody else groups up to defend the only remaining tier 3 turret, but over the wall goes Tarzan. Faker's got to try to stay safe into the back line. Public execution onto Faker. Redemption's not there in time. The egg has already been procced, but he will not be reborn. A kill onto Owner follows. AL's already found 2, and they want Gumayushi. Doran and Keria will be next to die as T1 are wiped off of Summoner's Rift. Anyone's Legend with a clean ace to win game 2.
The Panda Warriors are coming alive in game 2 and showing that in Shanghai, this city will belong to them.
Beautiful counter.